Hello, everybody. I have been enjoying myself sitting there here and reading all my congratulations down the side in the comments. I was only going to mention it at the end. I wasn't even going to mention it till the very end. But thank you so much. I'm very grateful. Look at how much our community's grown. I can't believe it. I had to laugh. I was in the back dashboardy thing that creators have that you can go in and see all your stats and everything. And there was this little message from YouTube, and it was congratulating me on 5 years on YouTube. Now, most of you have probably only been aware of me for about 2.5 years, even if that. And it really took me back because I remembered that when I got my first, I think it was over 100 subscribers, I got 110 subscribers, and I was just over the moon. So it's relative, isn't it? It's all relative. So if any of you are thinking about starting your own YouTube channel or have one and you're sort of, suffering and it's hard, I know all about it. I had, 2.5 years of sort of 80 views a video. But the thing is, you just got to keep going. You've just got to keep going because you do improve over time. And I think as you improve, then people respond better to you, which makes sense, doesn't it? But anyway, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. And I'm always grateful. Always very, very grateful. So I wanted to kick off with happy news and good news, and it's about Catherine, the Princess of Wales. She is my go-to for a calm oasis in the storm and for real achievement, but she always understates her achievement. That's why I'm going to sing her praises to the rafters right now. So I'm just going to get up the headline about it. And it's the Princess of Wales launches video series to help parents with early childhood education. But I'm going to give you a little bit more background about it because it's an amazing initiative and it's really quite impactful. So it's 7 animated films. Now, these were launched via her Royal Foundation Centre for Early Childhood. And that's a really big deal because it does a lot of research, a lot of it under the radar. And she does all this research, which is paid for by the Royal Foundation. Well, she doesn't do it. She brings the best of the best, all the experts to do it. And then they give out this information and what they find for free to people that work in the sector and in charities and things like that. And it's really having an enormous impact. I did a video a little while ago where early childhood workers were contacting me and saying how much they'd been impacted in a positive way by this Royal Foundation work. So she worked with animators to make these short films, and the emphasis is on the importance of human interaction as babies need from their caregivers expressions and voice. And the reason why it's so impactful and so important is often you'll get a young mum who maybe hasn't had any babies before and they might be really struggling and they don't have anyone to really talk to or help. So they will head off often to a centre, where they look after young mums and their babies and give them advice and companionship and support, right? So they'll go off to one of these centres. Trouble is, a lot of these centres, and a lot of them run by charities, they don't have up-to-date resources. It's a fundamental thing. They might go and see a film that was made in 1974 or something like that, and they're sort of sitting there groaning through it, and they're disengaged, and it doesn't really help them. So they needed to update resources, and this takes an awful lot of money. So this awful lot of money was provided by the Royal Foundation. Now, all these films are getting rolled out to charities and professionals in all these early childhood centres and places where they help young mums for free, all paid for by the Royal Foundation. It's going to have an enormous impact. It really, really is. So bravo, Catherine. Congratulations. Whenever anything is announced, it's so understated. And when you really look at the impact it's having and what it does, you almost feel like singing it from the rooftops, giving her a trumpet to say, well done, because these projects matter. It's not just sort of turning up and cutting a ribbon. You know what I mean? It's real outcomes, real measurable outcomes. And I just think it's wonderful. So congratulations. Very, very impressed I am, as you can probably tell. Here's a photo of the lovely woman herself talking to one of the animators and enjoying one of the films that she provided the money to make. Well, the Royal Foundation did. Have to give credit where credit's due. Of course, Prince William is very much a part of the Royal Foundation as well. But bravo. Also, I was interested to see that I think it's a Charity Commission report on the Royal Foundation illustrated that they're going from strength to strength. Also, Earthshot is going from strength to strength. So if a charity is well managed and, the focus is correct, then it can thrive. Also, American support for the Royal Foundation has grown substantially. I think it was in the region of 2.5 million in donations, 2.5 million pounds in donations, which is lovely. And now you can see where your money's going, which is even better. I think that's fantastic because you're part of something wonderful. Now, next feel-good thing. I'm going to just hit you with some feel-good things. This is Tyrone, an Irish draft horse who served as a wheeler. Now, these are the horses that are attached closest to the actual carriage. And Tyrone's quite famous because he was part of the group of draft horses that actually took the king and queen off for their coronation. So that's something. And he was next to his sister, Meg, and Tyrone's 19 and Meg's 20. Well, Tyrone is retiring, and I just love these stories. Are you a sucker for the stories about animals where they're retiring? I am. Even the army, those army combat dogs, when they go into retirement and they get to be with their original handler and, they'll meet them at the airport or they'll fly in. I always cry. Also, I love police dogs that are retiring and they do the last call for them on their last shift. That makes me cry. Even customers at border security drug dogs when they're doing their last shift. That makes me cry. I'm just a sucker for animals retiring. I mean, it's quite silly, really. I should care more about human beings, shouldn't I? But I don't know what it is. It's just the animals get me every single time. So Tyrone's retiring. And it's a well-earned retirement, as I've pointed out, but he's being reunited, now this makes me teary, with his father Storm, 26, so he's getting to go and be with his dad, and sister Meg, 20, and they were both former royal carriage horses, and they're going to the Horses Trust in Buckinghamshire, and he's going to spend the rest of his days grazing. Isn't that just wonderful? I think that's just so wonderful. And I want to share a few of your little comments as well about this. Koala Blues, love this photo and he will enjoy his retirement. I know. Isn't it beautiful? What a beautiful horse. Or beautiful horses, I should say. Amy's saying that. Such beautiful horses. Let me know if you're a sucker for sort of animal retirement stories. I am. Okay, now I've got another photo of Tyrone in action. I forgot I put that up there. So he's on the back right. Yeah, back right, nearest the carriage. So there he is actually in action. And I guess the younger ones that are learning the ropes, they're up the front. So Tyrone's saying, okay, guys and girls, keep it together in horse language. Anyway, I was really happy to see that. Now, the centre barley thing. So this is an earlier headline. Prince Harry unhappy after watchdog criticises all sides of centre barley row. And I did have to laugh because I thought, Harry is never happy when he's told no, is he? He's never happy, whether it's a sausage or security, he's not happy with a no. And he's made his feelings very, very clear. And he's still coming out with little potshots at Sophie Chandorka, even today. So this was the Sunday Mail exclusive. Harry hits back at charity chief in bullying row by launching New Africans Children's Charity. Now, honestly, he could have waited a beat. Honestly, couldn't he? Could have just waited a beat, been mature, thought this through, Just such a silly, petty little move. Prince Harry is planning to outflank the boardroom rival who accused him of bullying by launching a new African children's charity, the Mail on Sunday can reveal. So that was what I woke up to. Now, I've been hearing some really wise commentary about this, and some of it has been sort of counter to what I thought about it, but nevertheless made good points and wise. Some people are sort of agreeing with the Charity Commission that it's, disruptive to the charity and it shouldn't have played out in public. This is where I differ. I don't think Sophie Chandorka had any choice, quite frankly, because the Sussex PR machine, if that's pointed at you, if that's coming at you, I think your only hope, your only choice is actual attack, really, to get him first. That's all you can do. Because we have seen a track record of people being absolutely destroyed by the Sussex PR machine. I mean, I would even go as far as to say feral. And, we've seen it time and time again. People having their livelihoods destroyed, having their careers destroyed, having their well-being and security destroyed when this PR machine is aimed at them. And it's very much used as a weapon. It has a very nice public face. I'm talking about Harry and Meghan's official PR team, but we all know that there's an underbelly to that can at times be extremely ugly. We've also seen it pointed at Catherine, the Princess of Wales, when she was going through her hardest times. We've seen it pointed at Prince William, often unfairly. We've seen it pointed at King Charles III. We've seen it pointed at Camilla. We've seen it pointed at the royal family. So I don't think Sophie Chandorka really had any choice. I think she had to come out because they were going to destroy her. And her real crime was the fact that she wouldn't go to bat for Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, because of the, that horrendous failure at that Polo Charity Cup thing on the stage there. Meghan was getting dragged for that, even really right across media, because it just looks so bad. She looks so bossy and so bullying to Sophie Chandorka on that day on that stage. And so when Harry and Meghan reached out to her and said, okay, correct the record and, just love bomb Meghan and shower her with praise to change the narrative, Sophie Chandorka wouldn't, because she says it's because she didn't want the charity to become an extension of the Sussex PR machine. But in actual fact, I think she wasn't willing to lie for the Sussex PR machine. I think that's the true fact. And I admire that. I think that's gutsy. And I think if you can go up against them in that way, then it shows a lot of courage. Also, interestingly, I looked into how the charity's going. Now, Sophie Chandorka has emphasised the ongoing commitment to serving over 78,000 children. Now, don't forget that while all of this was unfolding and while they were trying to cripple her by, taking away major donations and still putting out these sneak attacks in the press, we saw it all unfold. They expect that the next year to match or exceed 2024's impact. She stated the charity emerged stronger, more focused and better governed, while remaining inspired by the founding vision of Prince Harry and Prince Cizo. Now, the other thing I thought was extraordinary, and I thought I had the quote here. Yes, I do. The chairman of the Duke of Sussex former charity has been accused of acting in the poorest possible taste over just that reference to his late mother. What she was doing was politely acknowledging why and how Centre Bali was created and what for and who it was in tribute to. So, I am 100% behind her. The Charity Commission found that she didn't do anything wrong when it came to governance or allocation of monies or anything like that. And I agree that it's probably needs to be clarified in what way did the Charity Commission actually look into her allegations of bullying. Because if they came to the conclusion that there was no evidence of bullying, I find that very, very hard to believe because I've witnessed it with my own eyes. So if the Charity Commission would like to contact me, I would be happy to advocate for Sophie Chandorka and to back her up in the allegations of, indeed, the Sussex PR machine being very firmly aimed at her. That is my rant about that. I think they get away with a lot. And seemingly they got away with that yet again. Okay, more good news now. The YouGov poll. And it is good news. And it's wonderful, I think, that Prince William has been acknowledged. Of course, he did a lot of work on his own when Catherine was not well. And people responded. They loved seeing more of him and they loved his support for Catherine. They trust him. They like him. They think the future of the monarchy is in very, very good hands, as I do. So 74% positive view of Prince William. Well done him. Catherine, 71%. So William just nudged you out. Now, I thought that was funny because you know how highly competitive they are in a fun way when they're playing sport and things like that. So I'm sure that there was a little twinkle in the eye and a bit of a nudge about that. The Princess Royal, Princess Anne, 70%, Charles, 59%, which is not bad for a monarch. Camilla, 43%, she's improved. Harry, 28%, Meghan, 20%. And poor old Andrew, who I'm not even going to mention hardly, is 5%. I'm avoiding the Yorks. I'm not even going to pay tribute to Beatrice's birthday because I don't want to drag down the vibe. I've done enough on that, I think. And I think any more is belaboring the point and not letting people make up their own minds. So I'm just going to let the book come out and you can decide for yourselves. Those of you that have ordered it and going to read it, you can just decide for yourselves. You don't need me harping at you constantly. Now, I wanted to ask your advice about this. Now, I don't have any problem with her going on holiday. I don't have any problem with her going on a friend's yacht. I mean, good luck to her. Quite frankly, if someone came up to me and said, would you like to use my luxury yacht with all your friends and family and travel around the Greek Isles with fully staffed, beautiful luxury thing, I'd probably say yes. To be, honest, I would probably say yes. The only thing I'm bringing this up for is not to criticize that, is just there's a slight optics issue. Then I looked into it and I realised the difference. Now, everyone's saying that Prince William and Catherine didn't have their holiday splashed across the tabloids. That's because Prince William is following the privacy that was granted to the royal family, that their personal holidays will not be covered by the British tabloids. And their holiday evidently was covered by overseas tabloids, but not the British tabloids. And he's actually seeing that through. Now, you'll remember that when William was young and Harry was young and Charles would take them off for skiing and things like that, they would often do a photo call at the start of the holiday to try and stop the British tabloids bothering them. And often then, this was after the sort of the pact where it was made illegal for huge press packs to follow them around through their whole holiday. That was what used to happen. Absolutely horrific. But they would do this photo call after this new law came in. They would say, okay, we'll give you one sort of thing to the royal rota, and then they'd be happy. Well, William isn't doing that. And what you're seeing with Camilla, Queen Camilla, is she's still doing that. She's giving them the one photo and then leave me alone. She's giving the British tabloids, the royal rota, that one photograph. And I saw in a recent episode of Palace Confidential, the royal rota just whinging incessantly about the fact that, overseas tabloids covered William and Catherine's holiday. This was sort of between the lines. They were whinging incessantly. And that's why they're happy with Camilla. And I would say, by extension, King Charles. I've just got to pull my top down. It's nearly choking me. So that's the difference. That's what you're seeing. Camilla's old school. She's still granting the royal rota and the British tabloids access, voluntarily granting them access. And Prince William and Catherine are protecting their children in a way that they're not granting access. What we'll see at the end of summer from the Waleses is usually they put out a beautiful little video where they have little glimpses of their summer. So they put that out on their social media to give people, because this is sort of the distinction I like to make. I pick up from the Waleses, they don't mind sharing with people that love them. They don't mind sharing with people that are royalists or monarchists. They don't mind that. It's just they want to convey it themselves, how they want to do it in their own timing and in their own way. So that sort of modern, independent attitude, distinct from the royal rota for personal things like holidays. But when it comes to official engagements, they're happy for the royal rota to cover them. That's what I'm picking up. So it's interesting, isn't it, that you can see the difference between old school and a new attitude. So there you go. Now, what else do I have? Oh, yes. Now, I shared a gentleman's post on X a few days ago, and it's Edward Fortescue. Now, I could not believe how much this thing travelled. I've got the top of his X there to give him adequate credit. Now, if you want to go and follow him, he wrote such a compelling piece, a case really. He laid out the case of why Harry shouldn't be patron of Invictus anymore. And he also laid out the case, obviously, of why Meghan Markle's performance at the Invictus Games is very, very distasteful. Now, when I read this, I didn't hesitate to share it. It's not my usual style because it was pretty brutal. But I've got to say, it was honest. And in my mind, I think it was accurate. The other thing is, Edward Fortescue is a veteran. And that's who I want to listen to, because I think that's who matters in all this. That's who matters. So I said, brutal but very honest, I agree. If Invictus doesn't want to end up like Centre Bali, they need to take decisive action now. Now, I'm going to share a few snippets. If you want to go and read it on X, by all means, follow the gentleman and you'll find it there. But I just wanted to share two little bits that really impacted me. I'm just going to read them out because it might be a bit small on the screen. And this really got me. It really got me because it was clearly written by someone who'd been through fire to me. He abandoned his regiment, his family, his queen, then came crawling back to the very veterans he left behind, hoping their heroism might cover the stench of his cowardice. But the veterans see through him now. He's no brother in arms. He's a cautionary tale. That last bit, he's a cautionary tale, that just was so impactful, and it just really just got to the nub of the matter, didn't it? This last bit. Invictus must cast them out, not politely, not discreetly, ruthlessly, because every second they remain near this sacred institution is a second too long. Our wounded deserve dignity, not drama, service, not spectacle, honour, not Harry. Whew. Does that get you? It just absolutely moved me so much. And then he just put enough on the end. I found that so impactful. And look, I'm really not that popular on X. I couldn't believe how much, although I don't get a lot of reach, I couldn't believe how much this post spread. And that's not why I did it. When I put it up, I just thought, I agree. I thought this was impactful and powerful and deserved highlighting. And oh my goodness me, it's had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of retweets and reaction. So I wanted to call out Edward Fortescue in this live and give him the proper credit, because sometimes when you share things, people can respond to you, and I didn't write it. So there you go. Very, very impactful. And I hope Invictus listens. I hope they do. There's more he says that is very, very impactful about Meghan Markle. I didn't want to read it out because that was sort of a bit of the brutal part. Not that I don't mind brutal, but out of context, I didn't want to do him a disservice. So I think if you read the whole letter in context, you'll see that the power builds throughout the letter. So I just think it was really, really good. This is Barbara. Hi, Barbara. How are you? Bravo to Edward Fortescue. Chills, not on X. How do I access his post? Well, I guess I could put it up in the community, couldn't I? But I would have to get his permission. It's okay to reshare things on X because I could link. Oh, you're not on X, though. But if I link to it in the community, even if you don't have an X account, you'll be able to read his post. That's what I'll do. I think that's the fair way to do it. I sort of, I'm careful about sharing other people's work in that way on YouTube because unless I'm giving a call out like I am now. Okay. What's this? Koala Blues? I've seen that Invictus might be handed over to David Beckham. Really? Really? Oh my goodness me. If they do a celebrity though, I want them to also highlight a veteran. I want them to have a veteran in pride of place promo permission and change that veteran between each games. So, and really highlight that veteran story and have, a celebrity like David Beckham as the pizzazz and a great sportsman, let's face it, as the pizzazz, but have the focus and have them doing sort of promo and PR together. So the veteran has the thrill of going around with the celebrity for the year leading into the Invictus Games and hopefully get a few rides on some private jets and things like that and have a few glam events and glam interviews. I think that would be wonderful, but I think it has to be a tandem thing, don't you, with a vet and a celebrity? The celebrity for the attention and the pizzazz, and then the vet for the fact that they've earned it and it's all about them. Because if they just go the celebrity route, we risk the same thing where the celebrity is getting all this attention and not enough focus is going on to the whole purpose of the whole thing. Let me know what you think about that. That's my thoughts anyway. All right, here we go. Now, this is a funny little thing that I wanted to share. It's actually not that funny. It's quite serious, but it caught my eye. I'll see what you think. Okay. This was in the Telegraph. Now, the police have turned up yet again in the UK over this sign in a retro shop. And the shop owner was just sick of getting ripped off and sick of having all his stuff stolen. So he called shoplifters scumbags. Due to scumbag shoplifting, please ask for assistance to open cabinets. Thank you. I love the polite thank you after the, addressing them in such a way. But the police came. Now, the guy's name's Rob Davies. He put up a handwritten note in his shop after repeated thefts that read, due to scumbags, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube. Yes, I'll say S-bags. I've already said it now. Please ask for assistance to open cabinets. But officers from North Wales Police attended his retro shop and told him to take down the sign as it could cause offence. Who are they worried about offending? The shoplifters? I found that just absolutely gobsmacking, don't you? As if we care what shoplifters think. As if we care that they would be offended. And the funny thing was, they said that they think it was probably one of the shoplifters that reported him. Is the world mad? Is the world mad? Can you believe it? I can't believe it. It just blows my mind. Blows my mind. Oslo Times says, shoplifters are S-bags. This sign is not wrong. Go Rob. Yeah, go Rob, go Rob. I know. The fact that it was in the Telegraph, which I know many people don't think is, I keep going, my top keeps going back and nearly choking me. I mustn't ever wear this again. I'll pull it down with my hand. I just think it's gobsmacking. It's, surely the police have something better to do. And it was in the Telegraph, and I know many people think that the Telegraph is pretty much a tabloid these days, but they wouldn't make up a story like this. So it's just amazing to me. And imagine how embarrassed the police officers would be. I mean, if you were a police officer who signed up in good faith to try and do good, And let's face it, a lot of police officers, when they sign up, they're young, they're idealistic, they want to make a difference in the world. The overwhelming majority of them are good people that want to make a difference. And then can you imagine how jaded and dejected and how they get worn down over time, being sent out on these stupid assignments that they have to do because their superior sends them out? Can you imagine? And they can't refuse or they'll lose their job. So, yeah, just crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. More good news. The Princess Royal, joined by her husband in a new photograph to mark Anne's 75th birthday. Now, this, of course, was taken. Do I have a full-length one? I don't think I do. Do I? No, I've just got a little statement. That's a pity. I should have got a full-length shot because it was really stunning. It was taken when they were about to head into dinner for the French state dinner, and they had this lovely shot. And this is a little snippet that I really was quite interested in. This is about them going off sailing for Anne's birthday. I believe it's on August the 15th, so next week. It will just be Anne and Sir Tim, a formal naval officer. There will be no aides, no flunkies, not even a single policeman to accompany them, which is just the way she likes it. And then there was a little bit more. They've got a 42-foot yacht, right? And it's named after an ancient woodland on the Balmoral estate. And look, if I try to pronounce this, you're all going to say in the comments that I'm pronouncing it incorrectly because I forgot to look it up. I'll try. Bellochbuie. Is that right? Bellochbuie. It's probably not. Around the Western Isles of Scotland to mark next Friday's big day. Now, this is a snippet that I found really intriguing because I want to find out more about Tim Lawrence, don't you? I've always wanted to find out more about Tim Lawrence, but he's a very private person, so we will probably never find out anything. But this is all good news. Listen to this. He was very much liked in the Royal Navy, says one who knows them well, and the same goes for the royal family. He's very well liked within the royal family. He's calm and funny and good for her. Isn't that lovely? That's so romantic. It's all good news. I mean, there's nothing better. If your first marriage fails, I think, there's nothing better than the second marriage being a resounding success. And obviously, it's a resounding success. So isn't that nice? He's calm, funny, and good for her, and very much liked in the Royal Navy. To be very much liked in the Royal Navy, that's a real tribute to his character. Evidently, you cannot find anyone in the Royal Navy who will say anything negative about him. So that's a lovely thing. All right. Now, this was just something I saw from Neil Sean, and it made me giggle. I'm not actually going to cover this story, but it just made me giggle. That's his thumbnail. Meghan, birthday gift to herself. And you know what it's referring to. And then his title, Meghan celebrates her birthday by a nose. It's like a racehorse. Oh, it made me laugh. Well done, Neil Sean. I just had to highlight that. I thought that was very funny. As far as thumbnails and titles goes, I thought that was clever and very funny. Next thing, I wanted to bring up about the Kings Dog Biscuits. I feel like I haven't been supportive enough lately, so he's won my heart with his £5 treats for furry princes and princesses hand-baked in the kitchens of Balmoral. I think that's all good. The treats are made using wholemeal flour, egg and chicken stock. They're baked in the kitchens at Balmoral Castle, the King's home in the Highlands. And I'm thinking about all the staff there at Balmoral when, because the royal family goes up there for their holiday and they have their month or month and a half up there, and all staff would have to work their butts off when they were in residence because they have guests and, the whole thing. But then this is a way to keep them busy and under the thumb while he's not there. All right, now you're going to be making dog biscuits in the kitchens. All the other people that are so basically out of work when we're not in residence, you're going to be packaging them up. And They're going to go for sale. Also on sale is a Balmoral tweed dog collar. I think I've got a photograph of the little cute tweed coat for the little doggy. I do. Oh, it's so cute. I was thinking about getting this for Winston, but it's £40, which, you know, in Aussie dollars, what's that? About double nearly. And yes, including shipping. Oh, I don't know, Winston. It might have to be for a significant birthday, I think. But that's a little tweed coat, which is really, really cute. You can also get a dog lead, a tweed dog lead, and a treat bag, and a coat of arms dog bowl for £28. Now, the difference between the King's initiatives and Meghan Markle's initiatives is that this all goes to charity. All of her things go into her rapidly depleting bank account, but King Charles III's all go to charity. So that's why I support it, because it does go to a good cause. So that's all good. All right, what do we got next? Gee, I've got a lot to show you today. I wanted to make sure it wasn't boring. This is your say, and it's in regards to part 1 of our Sophie book. Now, part 2, I couldn't do it last Friday. I was exhausted after all the Andrew Loney stuff. I really was. But next Friday, it'll be back. I'm going to come back with part 2. I've got a really good video. I'm writing it as we speak, and it really is a lovely book. Really is a lovely book. I'm not going to give the best bits away, because really I think you'll enjoy it if you want to purchase it. It's a feel-good but interesting good book. I liked it. Just skip the Harry and Meghan chapter. I'm telling you, just skip that completely. Even staple it shut. Maybe get some sticky tape and just sort of seal it off for yourself so you can just flick it over in one flick. But other than that, the book is fabulous, I think. So these are your comments, and these were the top comments underneath the review. And this is from Leslie Clark. Prince Edward and Prince William really lucked out when it came to picking their wives. Beautiful ladies. Yes, and that got a lot of thumbs ups. Everyone agrees. Everyone agrees. Even Andrew Loney agrees with that. Marie Ellis. An interesting book, Shauna, and a lovely review of the Queen's children. Sophie and Edward are the only couple to be happily married all these years on. Very good point. Although Princess Anne, like I said, has had a very happy second marriage. Yeah, Sophie and Edward are the originals, aren't they? Did I skip one then? Yes. Okay, I'm so glad that Sophie is getting the attention she deserves. Also, it does rather shine a light on Diana's less pleasant side. It did rather. Yes, it did. If I was being kind, I would acknowledge, though, that Diana was going through hell around that time. I think King Charles III was going through hell around that time too, and that tends to affect people and how they behave towards others. It sounds like an excuse, but it's just informing of what might have been a little bit of behind it, maybe. June 583, yay, a video of a woman who can look to with a big smile. Yes, what a breath of fresh air for us compared to the last addition to the royal family. Yes, perfect choice of book to start back on your book chat, Shauna. Oh, and I have some exciting news too. I have an author, Hazel Ward, coming next week, and she's written this fabulous book. It's a fiction book called The Game is Murder, but she is a fascinating woman to talk to, because she's really informed. Her book is actually based on the Lord Lucan mystery and that murder and everything, and also she's very learned. You know, she's doing her PhD, and she can tell us about the evolution of the whodunit, and it just enthralled me, the whole thought of that. So I'm very, very lucky, because her book is being launched August the 21st, and she's coming to speak to me. We're recording our interview on the 18th of August, so I'll be able to put it out to coincide with her book launch, which is very exciting that I'm starting to get these authors as their books are coming out. I'm over the moon. I really, really am. So, you know, don't forget to tune in for that. That'll be great. I'll give you more of a a heads up when we get closer. It's about 10 days away, isn't it? Yeah. All right, so there's that. So things are happening in the book side of things. And that was my last slide because, like I said, I was going to say thank you at the end and say, look how much our community's grown. And you all got in first because you're all so lovely and generous. And you all look after me, don't you? You're just so kind, and I know you're there. The best thing I love about this community is it's so fun because we have such an eclectic mix of what we do. Like we'll enjoy books and interviews, and we'll enjoy deep dives and all that sort of thing. But then we also enjoy the silly light side of life as well. And that's what I love. I love that sort of mix because it's like real life, isn't it? It's really like real life. I love it. So thank you so much. And thank you for joining me. I'll just share a few more of your comments. What's this? Your son is doing an excellent job. One Luna. Oh, well, thank you, my son, who is in the other room. I said to him it might get a little hot today because the world has gone mad. The world has gone mad. There's a lot of tension out there. That's why I just wanted to ease the tension for you all a little bit today. And quite frankly, ease the tension for myself. Susan Robbins says, more snarky snippets, please. Yes, I'll tell you the truth about that. I love writing. I love, I love that I get a real adrenaline rush when I write those because it sort of fulfills my writing side and it's challenging. I got a little bored with the whole Harry and Meghan focus of the snarky snippets. And when a few times I tried to do snarky snippets on other headlines and other stories, and they just bombed. So I sort of felt a bit disheartened by that. I might try again in the future, but I don't want to do any more Harry and Meghan ones. I hope you understand, but I just don't want to. So if I can find something else, I'll amp them up again. I'll do them again. Thank you, Barbara. Compliments about my interview with Andrew Loney. That's lovely. But the exciting thing is I'm starting to get a few more offers of authors that have got books coming out, and that excites me. It really does, because I love to bring, the best and first to you if I can pull it off. Well, love you all very much, and I'll see you all again later on in the week. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you later. I'm going to do the awkward click out now. Here we go. Bye. Bye. Thanks for joining.